You, the Wandering Fool on YouTube.
Yes.
I've been watching your video.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Thank you. I love that you found me.
I watched your video today, the Limerick Galway video, just before, and I said good Irish.
Oh yeah,
that was me.
dude.
Yeah, that was cool. Keep
Thanks,
it up.
man. Thanks.
100%.
Wow, that's the first time I've been recognized. Amazing. So I'm hanging out here at the church. I'm gonna meet the tour group.
Matthew, can you will?
Gomasara.
Come on. Fáilte go Galway, welcome to Galway. Galway in Irish is Galway, but when you translate it through to the English, it means stony shore. And if you ever look at the bedrock, especially in and around the river, it's a very rocky place. So to say stony shore is pretty much true to form.
700-year-old church, right?
Actually, yeah, this church, the St. Nicholas, is 700 years old. Originally, this was a Catholic church, but by the death of Henry VIII in the 1600s, in the middle of the 1500s,
Right.
it had changed into that of the Protestant faith, and I think in America it's Anglican. We are standing under a weeping witch willow.
Okay.
And this tree actually goes back 130 years. 1890.
Witch willow.
Witch willow, weeping witch willow.
Weeping witch willow.
Because the branches normally tend in the weeping, they weep as they cry down as they weep down. So this is known as a weeping witch willow. Yeah, you can just begin to see now. That's going to be absolutely spectacular when you light up properly. The cathedral is the youngest stone-built cathedral in Europe. Opened on the 15th of August 1965. And the year they were putting on the roof, they had Italian roofers. Allegedly, the deal was they would have Italian wine for them. And in 2014, the year before its 50th birthday, they sent up an engineering company to go and fix the roof, a building company to go fix it. And they found all the empty bottles of wine. It was the hottest summer on record. The roofers at the time would have lunch and have a couple of bottles of wine and then finish off.
The morning work was always a little more precise, perhaps.
Now, this is a mural of what we call as the Galway hookers, and their boats. This is the hull of the Galway hooker.
Hooker?
Yeah, Hooker. 44 feet long and about 12 feet wide at the beam. The reason they're called hookers is when they went fishing, they never used nets, they used baited hooks.
Ah.
So they hooked their fish, so it became known as a hooker.
Okay.
And the name stuck, and they would land the fish, and hence the name, the Galway hookers. And then the sails are actually this kind of reddish colour. So they kind of, you would know them when you see them on the bay. That's what you're looking at.
And there's still many, many fishermen who work out of this town, live here and work here.
A lot of them are on the trawlers now. This is called Buttermilk Lane.
Buttermilk Lane.
The reason it's got the buttermilk connection because it used to be the buttermilk market at one stage. So there's a real you don't feel it now, but there is a real cool breeze that comes through here during the day. And
kind of natural refrigeration.
Yeah, it's like a natural fridge, and that's why the buttermilk market was here up until. I'm not sure exactly when it left, but it was here for at least in the early part of the 20th century. And this just above our heads is called an oriel window.
Okay.
It's a special type of window that sits on the first floor of a house, and there's only 3 of them left and going.
And what is the purpose, would you say, of those?
It was just literally, it was like a very fancy kind of extension to your house.
I see, it's like, okay.
Yeah, and you'd have a seat or a bed in it. And this is the Augustinian. It's been here since the 1850s. The Augustinian is a religious order. They're one of about 4, maybe 5 that came into Ireland during the arrival of the Anglo-Normans. So we had the Augustinians, the Dominicans, the Franciscans, the Jesuits, but they were all brought in by the Anglo-Normans to preach the new religion and then or Christianity. So this is the Tithe-Yark.
Say it again?
On Tithe-Yark.
On Tithe-Yark.
And Tithe-Yark was founded in 1928 by a guy called Michael McWilliams. He was an Englishman by birth, didn't speak a word of Irish, but when he came to Ireland, he learned Irish, so he became a fluent Irish speaker. It's a 100-seat theatre.
Okay.
Now they do the odd English play, but a vast majority of it is all Irish speaking. It's the drive to keep the Irish language.
Yeah, I think that's great.
Just down here, we can just about see it's the just past the door here. You've got Charlie Burns' bookstore. It's been voted the best independent bookstore in Ireland for many years now. If you have a collection of books that you're no longer using, you can bring them in. They'll set up an account for you, give you shop credit.
Nice.
So you can actually walk around after a couple of weeks and go, I need that book, or been looking for that.
I love it.
You go in the morning, and the next minute they're tapping you on your shoulders and it's 5 o'clock.
We're closing up.
We're closing up. It's time to go. So do I? And I often joke. I said, if you ever get a chance to get a bed or a room in there, that's where I want to retire.
Okay.
That's where I want to be.
I love it.
I'll be walking through town and I know I have to get somewhere quick and I'll just zoom through the back alley.
You know the shortcuts. And look at this this is a third entrance.
Yes.
That's great.
Really good food to do. They've just been voted the best chowder in Ireland.
Okay.
What they do, they enter a competition and people will vote the places for best chowder, and then they'll whittle it down to like the 5 or 6 or 8 or whatever, and then they have secret tasters.
Love it.
They'll walk in and they'll have a couple of bowls of chowder over a day. A couple of them will come in and it's like the Michelin star thing.
That's so great.
So this is the King's Head. We're on the upper end of a place called High Street. Parts of this building are over 800 years old. And when you go through the main door here, the fireplace on the inside is 400 years old. During the 1640s in England, we had Charles I, who was the king, and we had Oliver Cromwell. Them days he wanted to turn England into a republic. And so the Civil War kicks off in 1642, and all hells broken loose in England. So by 1648, Charles runs out of luck. He's lost the Civil War, and he doesn't really offer defense. I'm going to paraphrase the quote. He said, "I have been appointed by the divine right of God. No earthly man can judge me. Who are you?" Cromwell returns, "I am Oliver Cromwell, the Lord Protector of England.
And I'll have your head.
And I'll have your head." and he found him guilty of treason. 30th of January 1649, 2 executioners arrive in London. They were basically told, "It's only Charles, lads, take your time." They were given a bit of alcohol. The blades were dull and the axes were heavy.
Ooh.
So it was a
brutal.
It was a brutal.
It wasn't a fun, clean one. No.
It wasn't.
Oh.
It wasn't. So by 1652, the Cromwellian army is in Galway.
So the general opinion of Oliver Cromwell here in Ireland is not good.
Not good. This is the guy that came to Ireland, took his army to Drogheda and killed every man, woman and child just to prove a point. Come on, I'll show you the oldest fireplace in Galway.
Excellent.
Or one of the oldest fireplaces. If you look here,
Yeah.
1612. It's the oldest, one of the oldest fireplaces in Galway, and it's made of limestone. And even though it was a fire here, limestone naturally over time will go black in colour. And the floor beneath our feet is also limestone. So when you polish limestone, it buffs up really dark and black.
Yeah.
And it also, if you polish it, if you have smooth limestone, if you polish it enough, it looks like black marble.
We're heading down to the water. Yeah, that's this way. Yep.
And we're heading downhill to the water. So we're going to actually start here. So this building here, the name of the door, Sean E. Nocton. He owned the bar in the late 1890s. And it's been in the Nocton family name ever since. But the guy that owned this building up until the 1830s was a guy called Richard Martin, who was a member of Parliament, landowner, 200,000 acres of land. This was his townhouse. He had a castle in Bannow. Animal rights activist, duelist, ladies' man, gambler, colonel in the local volunteers. The interesting thing about it is he was good at many things, but he wasn't good at gambling. So when he died bankrupt and everything was literally confiscated and taken and sold.
You, the Wandering Fool on YouTube.
Yes.
I've been watching your videos.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, I swear to
Oh,
God.
you swear to God?
I promise. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
thank you. I love that you found me.
I watched your video today, the Limerick Galway video, just before, and I was like,
Did you say?
I might see you around town. I said good Irish.
Oh yeah,
That was me.
dude.
Yeah, that was cool. Keep
Thanks,
it up.
man. Thanks.
100%.
I appreciate you.
Enjoy the rest of your trip.
Thank you.
See you later.
All right.
Oh, you've been spotted. Thanks very much for that.
Wow, that's the first time I've been recognized. Amazing.
You'd be surprised who you meet in Galway. Now, I'm going to stop just here for a second.
Yeah.
This is Galway's smallest bar,
Okay.
and that's it.
Oh, you know?
Good. It's small in here.
Come in and have a look around. It won't take
I will. I'm finishing up a tour, but I think I will come back next. So cool. You're right.
So we're on the River Corrib. This river here is known as the Middle River. Because you've got the River Corrib just here. You've got this one, and then you've got another one that's hidden. So this becomes the Middle River because there's another river flowing.
That kind of runs underground, sort of. Okay.
So that's known as the Middle River. This is O'Brien's Bridge. This was the first bridge officially across the river in medieval times, and it's known as the Western Bridge. And the main western gate was here. And so if you were coming from the west, this is where you came into the town. We had 24 mills on that harnessed the power of the river at one point, and 3 of them are just here, or what's left of them. So you got 1, 2, 3 mills. It became known as the O'Brien's Bridge Mills Complex, and they were flour mills. So you brought your grain in here, and
They grind it up for you.
Grind it up, and farmers would then sell. The flour mills would buy a certain percentage of it to sell on, and then the farmers would have a certain number for themselves and a certain number for themselves to sell on. So it's kind of a good deal to have. We have the local canoeists and kayakers will all paddle around here, and then they'll come down here,
Shoot them out into the.
river. So if you go to the actual river itself,
Oh yeah.
it acts as a really good rapid.
Fun.
This tower with the yellow facade, it actually is the fisheries tower, and up until 1922 the British government used to own the fishing rights here on the river. And when Ireland got its independence in the 20s, those fishing rights reverted over to the Irish Republic. And what they used to do is they used to monitor all the fish running up and down the river and just kind of keep an eye on things. If you were caught poaching here, were given 2 choices. You could either go to Australia, which is one heck of a journey, or you could become a gamekeeper, which meant you had to protect all the fishing stocks and the deer and all this.
What sort of fish do they catch in the river?
We have mainly salmon is what we mainly get. It's the big draw.
Okay.
But we also have an awful lot of eel here from the Sargasso Sea.
What's the
Sargasso Sea.
Where all eels come from.
Yeah. So
all eels come from there?
And they still don't know how they mate or how they're. Still this grand mystery. I was recently hearing about that.
Where is that?
it's in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean.
Okay.
And it's where all eels come from, and our eels come from there. The 2 arches we're coming up to now are the Spanish arches,
Yeah.
and they form part of they're an extension of the old wall dating from the 1580s.
The whole wall that kind of used to go around the whole Latin Quarter, sort of, for the whole.
The city was only 100 acres in size. It was very, very small. Yeah, so this is the River Corrib, the mighty River Corrib. Looks very kind of tranquil and relaxed, and
Oh yeah, it's definitely the tides come up because it was definitely beachy there yesterday, I think. Yeah.
and there's a lot of folklore in around the river. One of the folklore pieces is a woman called Banshee. She's a wailing woman, and if you hear the wailing of the Banshee at night, it forebodes death, and she's always associated with rivers and water. So you have that. But this particular area, these steps right here, are known as the Devil's Steps, because according to legend and folklore, at midnight, a dog devil-looking dog with bright red eyes comes out up these steps and will follow anybody to the first crossroads on Cross Street. So if you're seen by this dog, you have to run and get to the first crossroads, because it's like a crucifix, and the deviled dog will not pass the crossroads.
I love it.
So Matthew, Guramagat, which is the Irish thank you.
Thank you.
If you've enjoyed yourself, tell everybody. If you haven't, tell no one.
All right.
And if you can't be good at it. So I'm going to love you and leave you, and thank you very much.